Good morning, Dawgpound Sound campers. This is the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound Sound podcast, part of the Fanatical L's Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill. Well, got quite a bit to talk about today, don't we? First of all, let's talk about the game. Got to give it to the players. They played hard. They wanted to win. They wanted to get Miles' sack record. Defense wasn't the greatest. Been a little better the last 2 weeks, but again, apparently the Cleveland defense just scares the crap out of the Cincinnati Bengals offense. It's something that is just strange. I mean, it really is if you think about it. Two defensive turnovers, 2 touchdowns. That's all they really needed. They needed that because the offense was terrible. Shedeur Sanders, he was kind of average. Yes, don't get me wrong. When they needed him to, he let him down the field for an attempt at a game-winning field goal, which Andre Schmidt hit full circle. I love it. 48 yards. He got a lot of practice kicking from 48, 49 yards because both the defensive touchdowns came with taunting penalties, and they pushed the extra points back to about the 48 to make them 48-yard extra points. So got practice at it. But on the other side of the field, Cincinnati, their kicker, first he had one blocked, and then he just whiffed one wide right. Oh, well. But I'm glad Miles got the record. I have to say that the Cincinnati players and coach whining about the referee letting the celebration go on was a bunch of whiners. And by the way, he's going to be back next year. I already saw on social media where they're bringing him back. Of course not, because Mike Brown still owes him money, and he doesn't like to pay coaches who aren't on his aren't on his payroll. So it was a good win. I really don't care about the draft position. Like I said in the pregame show, I am more concerned about beating divisional opponents. Yeah, I wanted the victory. I don't really care about it. There's not a surefire hit quarterback in this draft. So, and they're not going to use draft capital to trade up to get Mendoza. You just don't do that. They have a lot of holes to fill in both free agency and with trades and the draft. Remember, free agency and trades come first before the draft. As for the other big news, I thought they'd keep Kevin. I thought they'd go stability. But bottom line is this. It's all about W's in this league. I'm glad they kept Andrew Berry. A lot of people aren't. I don't care. Yes, he did have a good draft in 2025. But I could argue, and I have argued, that the 2 previous drafts were good. Remember, since 2020, your average win rate for GMs is between 41, 44%. Andrew Berry falls in that zone. They're not going to get everyone right. Is Shedeur Sanders going to be the quarterback for next year? Well, here, I'll just let Jeffrey Champion. Right there on the money. There you have it. I wouldn't go naming him the starter either. They got to bring in competition. And that's going to be up to the new head coach. I am not completely sold on Jim Schwartz simply because of what he did in Detroit. He had one 9-win season, got him in the playoffs. Great. But, I am I am fully expecting a clean house of assistant coaches and coordinators, which is a shame because I would love to keep Tommy Rees. I guess if they hire Jim Schwartz, I guess if they hire, they keep the vital pieces of the assistant coaches, like the linebacker coach, the secondary coach. I'm sure Jim Schwartz, a defensive line coach. If Schwartz was hired, I'm sure that would happen. And if I am going to have to pick one or the other, yeah, I would hire Jim Schwartz. I'd like to keep as many of this staff on hand, except Bubba Ventrone. But yeah, I think that would be the best outcome. Now they're going to have to do the minority interview. I really don't see any young coordinators out there that thrill me. I'd rather have a coach with head coaching experience. I don't really like the options of like people like Mike McCarthy. God, no, don't ever do it. Or if Pete Carroll is fired, please, love of God, don't do that. So, yeah, I could see the argument for keeping Schwartz. But you got to think, if they're going to roll with Shedeur, they got to get another quarterback in here. They have to get another veteran in here. No, Deshaun Watson's not going to see the field in 2026. So they've got to go out and get one. Malik Willis is a nice opportunity, but, I'm hearing he could end up with the Colts, who, frankly, are in better position than the Cleveland Browns to make the playoffs. I mean, they have an excellent offensive line, good running back, good wide receivers. I mean, so, it just, I'm tired of this constant merry-go-round that as a Browns fan, I'm always on. That's the reason I wanted to keep Kevin Stefanski. But like Jimmy Haslam said, it all comes down to victories. As for all the other stuff that around the internet that the media is now barking about, I've been told that yes, Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry got along, but there were certain situations where they didn't mesh. So that's why Andrew Berry is still there. I agree with Jimmy Haslam on why you keep him. He did have one incredible offseason. I'm sure the GM down in Jacksonville has Andrew Berry's telephone number blocked after he took him for two trades. So now we, as Browns fans, we move on again. Another head coach. All I can say is, yes, he only had 8 wins in the last 2 years. But also twice in that 6 years, the offense scored 250 or more points. He's only the second Cleveland Browns coach to have accomplished that. He also won 11 games twice. Also, the second Cleveland Brown coach to achieve that. So while you're looking at the what's in front of your face, you've got to look, you can't stare at the bark on the tree in front of you. You got to look at the whole picture. So I guess the best option would be for them to keep Schwartz that way. I know they want to keep Tommy Rees. They like him a lot. So that would suggest that they were going to hire from within. Anything else? I'm not thrilled with any. Brian Flores, get that name out of your mouth. Ever since he sued the NFL, he is persona non grata as a head coaching candidate in this league. Look, these are a bunch of old billionaires. They take grudges personally, and he's not going to get a head coaching job. I wouldn't want him anyway. So let's just wait and see what happens. I'm going to listen to the Andrew Berry news conference. I doubt there's going to be any earth-breaking news. I'm sure the local media up there will clutch their pearls afterwards and discuss how he didn't say anything, which is what a GM usually does when they talk to the media. Same with coaches. So let's see what happens. Just remember, Andrew Berry holds the key to getting rid of Deshaun Watson the most efficient way possible, not costing the Browns a lot of money. Another reason they kept Andrew Berry, because he's the one that has that whole plan worked out. Jimmy wants Deshaun Watson off that roster. And to get Deshaun Watson off that roster, he has to keep Andrew Berry. Now, you're not going to hear anything like that from the media. I'm telling you, that's what he's got a plan, and it's going to happen the way Andrew Berry wants it to happen and the way Jimmy Haslam wants it to happen. So sometimes coaching changes, regime changes has setbacks, and a team will take a step back. This is not a Chicago or New England situation, simply because those two teams had a quarterback, an established good quarterback. And if you're going to sit there and tell me Shedeur Sanders is a good quarterback, no. He played like a fifth round. Jeffrey Champion, exactly right. He played like a fifth round quarterback. He looked like a fifth round quarterback. You want to know, somebody told me this morning. The reason he was having so much trouble is the Bengals took away his ability to scramble. They made one little adjustment. They brought their defensive ends in when they were putting pressure. So if he stepped up to take off, they were going to run him down before he got going. Also, can't hold that ball like that. Come on. It's not a loaf of bread, buddy. I mean, geez, he did that a couple weeks ago in a game. He's running around out there holding that ball in his left hand like it's nothing. And it caught up to him. So let's see what happens. Going to listen to Andrew Berry. They're going to find a new coach. I'm glad Jimmy Haslam's not involved because Jimmy Haslam brought us Rod Chudzinski, Hugh Jackson, and Freddie Kitchens. So I am glad Jimmy Haslam's not involved in this. You should be too. Well, that's it for today. Let's see what happens. I wish Kevin Stefanski the best of luck. He could probably get a job. He'd probably have a job in about 2 weeks. So after that, well, here we go again, merry-go-round. This has been the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network, brought to you by Hemisphere Coffee, where they shake the hands of the farmer. Everybody has a great day. Go Browns, and thank you for watching, listening, following, and subscribing on all our social media platforms. So, I didn't want this to happen, but it's happened. So I'll just wait and see how they fix this mess, because it's a mess. Everybody have a great day, and go Browns.